We are live. Welcome back to the NHL Opening Line Show. My name is Nicholas Earle, and we'll be going over the NHL slate for Tuesday, February 14th. First thoughts, we think the line's going to move, where the line has moved. Should you move on the games now? Could you waiting on the games later? Things along those lines. We will get into it. I've already locked in 3 plays on the NHL card for tomorrow. And definitely looking at a couple more once certain lines are available. So let me get up my book on my other tab here, and we will see. Let's see if they put out puck lines yet. They have not, which is fine. But I am looking at a -1 for tomorrow as well. But let's get into it here. The first matchup of the card is the Chicago Blackhawks and the Montreal Canadiens. The Canadiens are -140 favorites, total of 6. And the way Montreal's been playing on the gate, that kind of makes sense that they're this big of a favorite for this matchup. I have Allen and I have Mrazek as my projected goaltenders for this one. I have the team projected 3.93 to 3.51 in favor of the Montreal Canadiens, 7.45 projected goals in this game. I did play the over 6 here at -117. I see nice little value here on that. And let me get up there. There's my 3 plays so far for tomorrow that I've actually locked in. I have a couple others that I'm looking at. But when we look at it here, I see goals in this game. Pretty plain and simple. Let's take a look at where the lines moved since it's opened. I only have 5 lines on my book. And then the other ones, I'll be looking at where the way the DraftKings lines have moved. But the rest of the games, I'll take a look at the way the lines have moved on Bet Online. This game opened up Montreal -140. And then about a minute later is -150, and it's gone back down to -140 for Montreal. So no line movement there, even though it's gone 10 cents up and 10 cents right back down. And this line opened up over 6 -117, has not moved. So let's take a look at what these two teams have done recently. And we'll get into that. Both these teams, I mean, they've been about even. If we look at what the Blackhawks have done the last 10 games, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over. And that means we're in line for an over tomorrow because their last game was an under against Winnipeg in a 4-1 loss. On the other side, the Montreal Canadiens are 5-4-1 over under the last 10 games. They've gone over in 3 straight games against the Senators, against the Islanders, and against the Oilers. They've put up 4, 4, and 6 goals their last 3 games. So this team has been scoring goals as of late. Pretty impressive, too. I think Montreal probably wins this game. And you could potentially look at a Montreal team total over when that line becomes available, which I'm going to see what that line would be here. Because I think Montreal team total overs to look, especially if it's going to be Mrazek in net. Even if it's Stauber in net, I'm fine with it. 3.5 at plus money, I do see a nice little value here in that spot. I'm seeing +108 on Pinnacle, +104 on Caesars. So nice little value, I think, here of Montreal. Even at $1.40, I'll probably look at their team total over. Either that or, I mean, you could probably suggest that there's some value here with the team total over for the Blackhawks as well, which you can probably get a 2.5. 2.5 -145, -150 for them. I'm more interested probably in Montreal than I am in, I don't know, actually. That's actually an interesting look. It's over 2.5 for Chicago. This is something I'm going to have to look at a little bit further. I want to see how the line moves for the side perspective in this game. But right now, I think actually there may be a little bit more of an edge on the team total over 2.5 with the Hawks rather than 3.5 with the Habs. But regardless, I'm on the over 6 here at -117. Let's get into it, Nick. Yes. Habs. Yes. All right, lean Habs. Yeah. Pass 1-800-GAMBLER. Sure, I'll click the button.
Stop it. Get some help.
Which means I bet it. So moving to the next game here. The Carolina Hurricanes are at the Washington Capitals in this game. These two teams will play again on Saturday at the Stadium Series game. So these two teams will be playing twice within a week. Let's take a look where the lines moved in this game here. This line opened up at Carolina -135. It has moved to 12 cents in the direction of Carolina here, up to -147. It did go up to -155 an hour and a half after open, but since then, it has gone down to the 147 where it is right now. It opened up at over 6 plus 102. It's not moved totals wise in this one. Let's take a look at what these two teams have done recently. Carolina 6-4 to the over the last 10, 3-5-1 over under for Washington the last 10. So Washington's been a little bit more of an under team. I don't trust this Carolina team defensively right now. This is a team that gave up 6 to the Rangers last game. They did only give up 1 to Buffalo previous to that, but then 4 to the Kings. This is a Carolina team that's been playing a little bit more overs as of late. I did play the over 6 in this game, and I expect a better effort out of the Capitals after losing 4-1 to the Sharks in their last game. I think the Capitals are live in this game, to be completely honest. I have this game projected 3.39 or 3.17 in favor of the Washington Capitals, actually. So I do see some value here with Washington. Whether or not I'm going to play the Capitals in this spot, I don't know. I did grab over 6 at plus 102. I have this game at 6.56 goals. So I see some value here with the over in this spot. That's where I'm looking at this one. Carolina, Washington over the total of 6. This one. Then might as well look at the draw. For the Canes, I can see that. Canes money line. Has to be the Canes. Canes puck line. I lean the other way. I really do. I think the Capitals win this game. Yes, the Caps. Yes, the Caps. I'm leaning Capitals here. I expect them to bounce back after that bad 4-1 loss. But Carolina's coming off of a pretty bad loss themselves, losing 6-2 to the Rangers. We had the Rangers in that game. Terry and I gave that out on the Friday edition of the Look Ahead show for the Saturday card. So I think the Capitals are worth a look here at plus 133. I think they are. I think this is a live home underdog in this spot. I truly do. All right, let's move on. New Jersey Devils, Columbus Blue Jackets. 6.5 is the total. Minus 200 is the New Jersey Devils. It's opened up at minus 225, and it's gone down to minus 200. So this line has moved 25 cents in the direction of the Columbus Blue Jackets. This line opened up over 6.5 at plus 102. It is now plus 101. It got up to plus 109 at one point about 8 minutes after opening, and the line has dropped 8 cents since then. For this spot here, I'm kind of looking at goalie confirmations. Columbus games are difficult because I feel like I want to back Korpisalo but fade Merzlikins. And if it's going to be Korpisalo, I'm interested in this under at 6.5 goals. I could see this as a lower scoring game. And let's take a look what these two teams have done recently. They're about split even, 5-5 over under for the Devils, 5-4-1 for the Blue Jackets. Devils have gone under in 3 of their last 4 games, and actually 5 of their last 7. This has been a team where their offense has slowed down a little bit here without Hughes in the lineup, which is, I think, something we're going to see as a little bit of an impact here. And looking at it here, the last few Korpisalo starts have actually gone either under or pushed. So I could see under 6.5 as a decent look in this game with Columbus and New Jersey. I need Korpisalo, though, in net, not Merzlikins for this one, though. So this one ends up being a pass for right now. If it's Korpisalo, I'll take a look at the under 6.5. Blue Jackets money line. Line's moving that direction. Markets are agreeing with you here that the Devils shouldn't be minus 225 favorites. Devils play with pride and puck line those Jackets. Yeah, lean under 6.5. Yeah. I don't care if Hughes is hurt. Yeah. But we've seen their offense kind of take a tick down with that. They're not creating as many chances. The last couple of games, only 2.41 and 2.29 expected goals for. So this is a team that missing Hughes is actually showing up. They're not putting up the offense like they have been. So we'll move on, though. New York Islanders, Ottawa Senators. Islanders are minus 170 home favorites with a total of 6. I do not have a line for this game for this matchup at the moment. because Ottawa plays tonight. DraftKings does have a line. It opened up at minus 170 for the Islanders. It has stayed put there. It opened up at over 6 at minus 115. It's moved 5 cents to the under. It's now over 6 at minus 110. So a little bit of a move towards the under. No surprise there in an Islanders game. But it's projected to be, let me see if I get this name right here, because it's a new goalie for the Ottawa Senators. It's Kevin Mendolci. If you have not heard who he is, it's because he's not had a start in the NHL. My bad, he has 1 game played in the NHL. He gave up 5 goals. So he in Belleville this season, he's played 13 games, has an .879 save percentage, and a 3.6 goals allowed average. This should be an Islanders smash spot. Realistically speaking, this should be a game the Islanders go out there and dominate. I don't trust them as this big of a favorite, though. I've mentioned it before. They've done this the last couple of games. I did not trust them as a big favorite against Vancouver. I did not trust them as a big favorite against Montreal. They lost both those games. So am I going to be laying $1.70 with the Islanders? No. Am I going to be looking towards the Islanders at all? Not really. Maybe an over in this game. Maybe look over, expecting the young rookie to get hit to get scored on a little bit here. You can look at Bo Horvat props. He's been awesome with the Islanders since they've acquired him. This is a spot here where I don't have too much of an interest in this game at the moment, and I don't think I'm going to get to it. Yeah, that looks like a pretty solid lock for you there, Tim. That looks like a lock there. Senators money line. I honestly can see draws in the first games, but not Isle sense. No, I think the Islanders in regulation or the Islanders -1 is a decent look in this game. Don't think I'm going to be playing it, but if I had to play it, Islanders -1 is probably the look. 3-1, 3-2. Yeah, I see them winning this game, but I don't trust them to cover a puck line, and I don't trust them as this big of a favorite. So, ended up being a no play for me at the moment. With a lean towards New York and the over. We get the Panthers on the second half of a back-to-back. They're at the St. Louis Blues, -125 for the Blues or for the Panthers. Total of 6.5 in this game. Knight and Binnington. I'm projecting Knight because it's Bobrovsky in tonight. Let's see, is Spencer Knight back? Spencer Knight is back, and he's probably going to be in net for this game. I like the over in this game a little bit here. This line is not available to me at the moment. This is one of those where Florida's playing tonight. This line opened up at Florida -120 on DraftKings. It's moved 5 cents towards the Panthers in this game. It opened up over 6.5 -115. It's up to over 6.5 -120. I'm probably going to be getting around to this game probably when it's dropped on my book at -125 for the over 6.5. I do think this game goes over the total. Spencer Knight has really struggled. And Jordan Binnington has had one of the worst seasons I think I've seen him have. Florida's gone over 9 of their last 10 games. The Blues are 4-3-3 over under their last 10 games. Well, this Florida team's just been an over machine. Their only under was a 4-1 win against San Jose, which they still scored 4 goals in that game. 5-3 loss against the Avalanche, 4-1 win against San Jose, but then 7-1, 4-3 wins against Tampa Bay and Boston. 4-3 loss against LA, a 7-6 loss against Pittsburgh, a 6-2 loss against the Rangers, 5-3 win against Minnesota, 6-2 win against Montreal, 4-5 loss against the Maple Leafs in overtime. This is a team that's been going over the total an awful lot. Probably going to be an over for me here. Blues and Panthers over. And probably a strong lean towards the Florida Panthers here, even on the second half of a back-to-back. I think this is a game the Panthers should win against a Blues team that's going to be selling at the deadline probably and is definitely taking a big step down here. Over for me is probably my best play in this game. I do like the Panthers in this one as well. Yes, love Bo Horvat anytime goal. Yes, I could definitely see that. Blues money line. You're just going to disagree with, oh, my bad. You're expecting every team around the Buffalo Sabres to lay down and die. Not a look ahead for the Panthers, but a smash spot, especially after losing to the Wild tonight. I almost bet the Wild today. And for me, it'd be riding the Gus bus tonight. I did not move on the Wild. I I can move on them here. They are at home. They're minus 103. The game starts in 2 hours. I might make a move on the Wild. I might. We'll see. But I do lean that direction in this spot here. But for this game, yeah, Panthers and the over for me. Panthers and over. Seattle Kraken are at the Winnipeg Jets here. The Winnipeg Jets are on minus 145 favorites with a total of 6 in this spot. Let's take a look at the way this line has moved here. It opened up at minus 140 for Winnipeg. It's up to minus 143. This line opened up at over 6 at plus 104. It is now over 6 minus 109. So 13-cent line move towards the over in this game. And looking at this spot for me, this is a play I'm looking to make a move on. I'm waiting for puck lines to be dropped because I'm going to take Winnipeg minus 1 in this game. I'm going to look to fade the Kraken going forward here. I had this game projected 3.43 to 2.42, 5.8 projected goals in this game. I see a massive goalie advantage here with Hellebuck against Martin Jones. I'm looking for the Kraken to regress here. You guys know I have the Kraken plus 550 to miss the playoffs. I do see this Kraken team slowing down as we go forward. And probably if they're going to make the playoffs, they're going to be a wild card team, is my thoughts on them. I see the Flames starting to win a little bit more. I like the Predators potentially to sneak into the playoffs. I think the Wild probably sneak into the playoffs as well. And at the end of the day, the Kraken are going to be the team looking out on the outside looking in. Winnipeg minus 1 in this game is probably where I'm going to be going in this one. They're currently minus 143 on Bet Online. I could play them straight up if I really wanted to. I have them projected more like minus 180, minus 190, but I'm probably just going to lay the minus 1 instead of having to worry about a puck line in this one. Let's see what the minus 1 would be. If it's minus 143, then I'm probably looking at a puck line around 165. So I'm probably looking at minus 143 plus 165, we'll call it. Probably looking at around a plus 109 minus 1 line. I like that. I think the Winnipeg Jets take care of business in this game. So Winnipeg minus 1 against the Seattle Kraken. Buffalo Wild Wings money line tonight. Yes. I'm on that as well. Jets or nothing. Agreed. Jets or nothing. Over and Sabres Kings. I stayed off the total. That could be a sneaky under. I could see this being a 3-2 game. But I like Buffalo more than I like the total in that game. Yeah, you missed 18 minutes. What are you doing, Ice? You're late. What are you doing here? Come on. Yeah, you missed the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. We have 3 more games left to go over. We will go over your team next here, Mr. Ice. Boston Bruins are at the Dallas Stars in this game. The Bruins are minus 120 with a total of 6 in this game. I'm projecting for Ullmark and for Ottinger. Let's take a look where this line has moved. This line opened up at Boston minus 120. It went all the way up to minus 123 at one point, and it's back down to minus 120. So no line movement on this game. As for the total, it's gone from over 6 being plus 107 to plus 113. This line went from over 6 minus 117, and less than an hour later, it was under 6 at minus 125. And that's the line I got for this game. I got the under 6 in this spot at minus 125. I have this game projected at 4.5 goals. 2 really strong goaltenders in this one here, Ottinger and Ullmark. I'm looking for the Bruins to bounce back defensively. Last couple of games, they've looked really bad. They gave up 4.78 expected goals against Washington, 3.17 against Toronto, 4.95 against Carolina. I expect Dallas to slow them down a little bit here because they've been pretty good defensively as of late. 2 very strong goaltenders. I like the under 6 in this spot. I see a nice little edge on that. Crud, yeah. Under 6, yeah. And potential draw. I can definitely see a draw in this game. At least I know what I'm doing this game. Already Stars money line. There you go. I'll tell IceX. There you go. Tim's gonna copy every play you do now, IceX. So there you go. You have a little bit of a copycat, but it is what it is. We got 2 more games remaining here. Rematch of a matchup we just saw. That was quite an ugly game. We had the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Colorado Avalanche. It is a pick'em in this game. Why is it a pick'em? Because the Avalanche, shocker, are injured again. This team can't stay healthy, which is really frustrating for my future. Darren Helm is out. Eric Johnson is out. Cale Makar is out. Manson's out again, and this is gonna be tough. For it, I think that we're gonna see a lower scoring game potentially in this one. I lean under the 6. I have the Lightning as a slight favorite, more probably something along the lines of -103, -105 in this game. I don't see any value on either side in this spot. I don't really see a value on a total in this game. This is going to probably end up being a stay off for me. Colorado does have a second half of a back-to-back against Minnesota the following day. So that's something for them to look forward to. Both these teams have been slightly trending unders. 4-4-2 over-under for the Lightning the last 10 games. 3-6-1 over-under for the Avalanche the last 10 games. So this has been the Avalanche have been a good under team this year. Going back to that Boston game, Boston 2-6-2 over under the last 10, and the Stars are 1-9 over under the last 10. So something to keep an eye out for there. I do have a slight lean towards the under in this game. I really don't have a feel for this one though, so this ends up going to be a pass for me in this one. IceX, your slip to the heavens. Avs -1.5. Oh, yeah, Lightning. Oh, yep. Over 6. Okay. Lightning, and that's right. The Lightning will be on a second half of a back-to-back too in this game. They play. They have the marquee matchup against Arizona the following game, and it'll be probably Brian Elliott in that game. Yep. Avs play the Wild. Lightning play the. I think the Avs win that game against the Wild probably. I might take the Wild in that game. Under 6. Yeah, under 6. Yeah. I'll take Lightning. There you go. My only thing is, for this game, it's Avalanche or nothing. And my reason behind that is the Lightning just kicked the crap out of them. This was a 5-0 game the last time these two teams played. You don't think the Avalanche are going to remember that? I think the Avalanche are definitely very alive to win this game. But that is that one. Last matchup of the night, the Pittsburgh Penguins are at the San Jose Sharks. Pittsburgh -150, total of 6.5 in this game. I have Reimer and DeSmith projected in net. And these two teams offensively have been awesome. Let's take a look at the for the line here. I do not have a line for this game. On my book, let's take a look at what's been on DraftKings. -150 for Pittsburgh, +130 for the Sharks. No line movement there. No line movement on the total either. Over under 6.5, -110 on both sides. It has not moved. I'm going to probably move on the over 6.5 in this game. I don't mind the Penguins team total over. They just got shut out in their last game. Maybe they look to capitalize in this game. It's Penguins or nothing for me in this spot. My numbers suggest this game should be more like probably -135 though, -140. So not enough for me to pull the trigger on it, but I do expect the Penguins to bounce back. So if you're looking at that, maybe a Penguins first period puck line could be an interesting look in this game. Penguins team total over, I think, is a decent look in this game. I think the full game over is the best look in this game because the Sharks team total over 2.5 is a decent look as well because that's a wagon. Because they didn't do it last game against they did do it last game against the Washington Capitals. Why didn't I play that? I mean, I've been saying it's a wagon this whole time, and I forgot to bet it on Sunday. I was distracted by the Super Bowl. But they scored 4 against Washington, only 1 against Florida, but 4 against Tampa, 6 against Pittsburgh, 4 against Carolina, 2 against Detroit, nothing against Boston, 3 against Columbus, 5 against Dallas, 3 against New Jersey. San Jose team total over is probably the look in this game, as well as the full game over for me. So that's kind of where I'm looking at for this matchup. What do you think about the Avs goaltending ordeal. Francouz is out, and it's going to be Georgiev taking the reins going forward. I mean, Georgiev's been good this year. I'm not worried about it. I think they'll be fine. SJ Sharks, do. I know because the Penguins are the Penguins right now. No bet at the moment. I like this game for the over. I think this over is probably gonna be my best bet of the day tomorrow. To be completely honest, because I think this game soars over, and I think the Sharks could be at least 3. Yari is possibly returning tomorrow. Makes me love the over even more. Love it even more now, especially with him coming back off an injury. Haven't played in a while. I like the over in that spot. But that is everything for this NHL card. 9 games for tomorrow, so decent card. Definitely some spots I'm looking at here. So I've already got the over in Montreal, Chicago, over in Carolina, Washington, under in Dallas, and Boston already bets. I'm going to be betting the Winnipeg Jets -1 as well. I like that look. If we get Korpisalo, I'm going to take under 6.5 Winnipeg or Columbus and New Jersey. And I'm probably going to be on the Sharks team total over and the full game over against the Pittsburgh Penguins. And over in the St. Louis and Florida game, as well as probably the Florida Panthers, is kind of where I'm looking at for tomorrow's slate. But that is everything for tomorrow's slate. No problem. I enjoy looking at these games early and kind of figuring out where we're going to be targeting for tomorrow. Now, there will be the full breakdown again on the ESB show tomorrow at 10 a.m. So be sure to check that out. But for it's not the Earle Sports Bet show. It is the NHL opening line show. And that is going to do it for this one. Thank you guys. And we'll run the outro here.